this year's calls for change. Washington tries an experiment in police reform and accountability.
People who stood up called for lawmakers to do something, to change policing.
Backers of the state's new laws say they run the gamut from de-escalating tactics to use of force and how it's investigated to making it easier to strip an officer's certification.
And these police agencies have policies and protocols in place that we just codified.
It's well-intentioned. I think this isn't the outcome they had hoped for.
In rural southwest Washington, the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office points to a recent case where the intended reform had unintended consequences. Deputies and a SWAT team responded to a dangerous domestic violence call where a woman's husband was chasing her around with a knife. Because of one of the new laws, officers weren't able to use tear gas and bean bags to end the standoff. Instead, after 3 hours, they eventually had to enter the home.
He tried to gouge out one officer's eyeball. It was a really gruesome attack.
Chief Criminal Deputy Troy Brightbill believes the use of tear gas and bean bags could have brought the suspect out of the house and reduced the risk to officers. They say Washington House Bill 1054 took away the option. Along with banning neck restraints and restricting the use of tear gas, the bill bans agencies from getting military-grade equipment. That restriction unintentionally outlaws some less lethal weapons, like the launchers police use to fire beanbag rounds and gas.
There was a number of things that we could not do in that event to take this person into custody that we could have done 2 weeks prior, and it would have been much safer.
Washington State Representative Democrat Roger Goodman says lawmakers and law enforcement they worked with missed that when creating the bills.
If it's an unintentional error, it certainly can be rectified. In the meanwhile, we hope that law enforcement knows they have peace of mind in using less lethal force, because that's what the legislature is encouraging. The bottom line is the police are not going to get in trouble for doing the right thing.
So that the bottom line is clear, Goodman says the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission and State Attorney General will come out with a formal opinion and emergency rule, hopefully within the next couple months. Cowlitz County Sheriff Brad Thurman wants the legislature to hold a special session to change the wording. He says the incident last week is one of many around the state, highlighting negative outcomes from the sweeping reforms.
Due to the vagueness of the words they used and lack of definition, there's not even consistency amongst prosecutors and city attorneys on what we can and can't do.
Change is difficult for anyone, and this is more regulations to their profession, and so having pushback is not surprising.
One of the other changes that took effect a couple weeks ago, police now need a higher standard of probable cause and evidence before they use force to detain someone. Previously, they needed reasonable suspicion. Law enforcement around the state worries suspects will go free. Dan, back to you.
All right. It sounds like maybe we need another story on that last topic coming up from you soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Morgan. Appreciate it.